being a dude in a band.
What would you describe your latest album like, theme-wise?
It's like, it's maybe a bit of your stereotypical, well, maybe it's half romance. Well, you know, a bit of the breakup album, a bit of the falling in love record. It's kind of like the Hank Williams thing. It's like he does the happy, like, oh, I'm falling in love, and everything's cheerio, and then next song he writes is I've been dumped down in the gutter.
Did you experience that falling in love and breakup part in the past couple of years, like writing?
Yeah, a bunch of them came out of that. I mean, sometimes they're more little stories. It depends on but even the ones that are more using characters, there's always, you know, anyone that writes, you can't escape yourself, you know, and stuff happens to people every day that you just deal with in your best way you can, and you get through it, you know. It could be, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean like love with, you know, a partner, a lover. It can be, you know, with a friend, or, you know, falling out of love with your favorite record ever, and all of a sudden deciding that you hate it and it sucks and you never want to hear it again. Just any kind of that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, there's some personal thing, and there's also some things in there to probably disguise the maybe you know, you don't want it to make it, you know, I didn't want to make like a, you know, a tear in your beer kind of like complete downer record. I want to be, you know, it's like that thing of this, and usually through bad times you tend to realize all the other, your focus kind of, as opposed to just like within yourself, it kind of expands in a weird way whenever people are going through hard times, that really you rediscover a lot of things that you've like maybe, you know, friendships, like long, you know, sometimes friends you haven't seen for a long time, or family, and just things that through living life, sometimes people you end up taking for granted, you know, that thing of someone that you see every day or every week, and then all of a sudden you realize you haven't seen them for a year and you really miss them, and you realize how much all the people that surround you make up your whole of who you've become in your life and who you are, you know, will evolve into. And all, you know, also a bit of like the people that you still haven't met and still will meet and will find fascinating, and will take you to your next step in the world. You know.
Now, where did that feeling came from? Like people that you're lost touch with and came back together. What feeling?
Well, I mean, it's like these bands too. It's like we travel all the time, so it's like it's harder and harder to maintain what, you know, sane people would refer to as your home. I mean, you always go back home, but like a lot of times you can go back home and time doesn't stand still, so you can go back home and next thing you know, your home is like completely rearranged, and there's new couches everywhere, and there's new dogs living in the yard, and you have to adapt to that. And
is that difficult for you?
Sometimes. I mean, my life now is pretty much when I was a teenager, a kid, pretty much what I wanted, as far as like we all live pretty free. We just travel around in a van and we play music with different people, and we get to run into, you know, bands and friends that we've met along the way. And I mean, the thing about touring that's maybe not the most, one of the maybe unhealthy things about touring that's also really great is when you come into a town, like, you tend to get the best. You meet everyone on their best and most, you know, behavior, and everyone's personality is really shining, and you don't get involved in what's going on behind the scenes. You're kind of just in and out, and it's like, oh, great to see you, and then you're off and stuff. And so sometimes it's like, it's a bit, you've got to be careful to take your, because there's, you know, there's so much focus on, you know, it's like, oh, you've got to get to the show. You've got to, you know, that you've got to try to detach yourself from being a dude in a band to just, you know, being a human. And music is fun and all that and a great time, but it's not everything.